Okay, you guys, what is up? The King of Lightning is here today to do Magi, the Labyrinth of Magic, Chapter 227 review. I'm here, cleanly shaven, looking like a fucking baby. Where's the gruffness? Where's the manliness? It's all gone. No. Oh no, I'm not cleanly shaven. I'm like light stuff. But whatever. The point here is this. Most of the hair is gone. And I'm feeling naked. And I don't like it. I don't like being naked for the world to see. It bugs me. So let me move on. This chapter, Magi, basically, to summarize the main points, number one is the plan itself. Number two is Seta and Isnan. Number three is this whole thing of God. And number four is finally Elder David in the final battle. And, well, no, not God, but it's Isnan and Seta. Then it's Wahid and Falan and like their son Tess. And then it's the final battle, which incorporates this whole thing of God, which I'll get to because that's the most important thing. So, here's the thing. Number one, the plan here is very simple. So, what they have on their side are all the species that were controlled by the control towers, and all the towers are now destroyed, as well as 60 divine staffs. And on the opponent side, the Orthodox Church, what they have are 50,000 magicians, and then they have 12 divine staffs, and of course Elder David himself. So clearly, from a number standpoint, the revolutionaries, they outmatch the Orthodox Church by a lot. They have a lot of cats, they have a lot of people. And the main plan here is to have the 60 divine staff users surround the Orthodox district and create one giant isolation barrier. Therefore, Elder David and the others cannot use their magic. So the point here would be to minimize civilian casualty by simply relying on basic ground, spear, and basic non-magic combat. And if anything else happens, then they still have Solomon and his boys, and Elder David probably won't be able to actually move, or he probably won't be able to use his magic under those conditions. So that's the main plan right there, because they still want to minimize civilian casualty. Now, after that plan is laid out for them by Ugo, by Solomon, and by Arba, we get to see like their fleet moving, and their fleet, the revolutionaries' fleet. Two things occur. Number one is that we get to see a Seta and Isnan flashback, where apparently, when it came time for Seta to die, Isnan went into the room with him so they could both be conduits of the power of so they can both be conduits for the divine staffs. Just how Sheba, when they found her, she was quote unquote dying because she was giving her power to the divine staff to maintain the control tower. Apparently, Isnan and Seta went there together. So that's number one. And how he explains how Isnan, at least, how they relied too much on the divine staffs. And because the divine staffs have a lot more power than the staffs of the ordinary magicians, of their quote-unquote subordinates, it may cause them to die earlier than the normal magician. Which I don't think is the case, considering the fact that when you take a look at Elder David, he's been around for like how many years? Like 800 plus? So, a thing here is that they fear that, and because they fear that, Seta makes the proposal that once this fighting is over, once this war is over, the divine staffs go into retirement. So, okay, I mean, it's possible, very possible. And plus, guys like Seta and Isnan and Sheba and Arba, well, not Arba, but Sheba and Falan and Wahid, they were conduits for magic towers. So they had to use up a lot of their magical power. That's the way it is. Again, to the point where they almost died. So Seta, one of his main goals for fighting is just to, support his brother. And we find that out. Again, very fascinating. It is showing that brotherly bond between those two, Seta and Isnan, because those two haven't really been highlighted. And Isnan should be highlighted a lot more, since Isnan, we know for a fact that he becomes like the dude later on who gets taken out by Sinbad, like the dude who's all about Al Thaman. Al Thaman, and I'll get to that later. Now, when it comes to Wahid and Arba, Wahid and Fama, the main thing here is that their son, Tess, very worried. In fact, most of the species, most of the relationships that exist on the side of the revolutionaries, a lot of their family members are worried for their people, for their friends that are going to combat. Their friends, their family, they're worried, right? Pretty much. Right? Let's keep it real simple. And this is above the norm when it comes to the usual, because this is the final battle, and this is against Elder David, someone who is revered as a god, just like Solomon is. So the sense of danger when it comes to those who are on Solomon's side is very high. And again, family members are worried that their loved ones aren't going to come back. This includes Tess. And Tess actually makes this argument that, okay, well, maybe you guys can hide because you guys don't need to do this all the time, but that's their job. It is their job as divine staff users, especially those who are friends of Solomon, to go into battle with Solomon. So the end result here is Falan basically telling Tess about how she was beforehand, and how over the course of time she changed after giving birth to him, after getting a deeper connection with her friends and her husband, and so on and so forth. So she is duty bound because of these reasons, and it's something that Tess will understand once he grows up. So and also she explains how, don't worry, because because even though we're going to be fighting, if something occurs where the civilians are in danger, there's going to be a magic, or there's going to be a divine staff user there in the vicinity to make sure everything's okay. So they came prepared even for that. Again, nice planning on the part of Ugo, Solomon, and Arba. And that's pretty much it when it pertains to that. So again, very touching, very emotional. The emotions are high. The sense of danger is very high, because this is the final battle. Now, we go to the battle itself, and we see Orthodox Church. They're not playing. There are fleets in the sky. Fleets, magicians all stanced up and shit, like they're ready to go. They're ready to fly. In fact, they're already flying. And what we see here is that apparently it's very easy off the gate. Off the gate, not a big deal. And we have Ugo, we have Solomon. They're wondering, why is it so easy? Like, what's happening? Like, what is Elder David planning? And then we see Elder David, and he's talking about God, and how he is looking through like this, like he goes like this pretty much to see like the paths of destiny that pertain to Solomon, Ugo, Arba, and so on and so forth. And then he says this: "Come kill God with me, Solomon. It is your destiny." Something along those lines. And then we see Elder David power up. Now, here's the main thing. Very important. We all know that at some point, some of the cats, including Ishnan, they have this dramatic change when it comes to their perspective of Solomon. This probably includes Sheba, because again, Sheba becomes one of the Magis. Now, the thing here is this. What is the catalyst? What is the catalyst for their hatred for Solomon, the guy that they revered and loved for a long period of time? What causes them to be like Islam later on? And when we have Elder David say, "Come and kill God with me," that's when I had to go back. Because before they go into battle, full on, What do most of the cats do? They pray to God. God is with us. God is with us. God is with us. But God can't be with you if God is killed. Now, this may also be the catalyst for introducing the whole Rook system. The Great White Flow. And it probably is. But the thing here is that you have to keep in mind that it's not just Wahid, it's not just Falan, it's not just Islam, but it's also Sheba as well. They have this their belief, their trust, their hopes in God are so strong to where if their God was killed, the psychological damage that they would actually experience would be dramatic. And the person who killed God, their hatred for that person would not subside. Because God is God. God is Ilah. And keep in mind, when we had Solomon actually question God, when we had Solomon actually question the intelligence of God, maybe God's not intelligent at all. Maybe God's just one big ass power source. And so on and so forth. Maybe the original magicians lied, or they altered the original story, where God didn't talk about Alma Torran, and so on and so forth. And he was questioning all these things that should rightfully be questioned. And we have Arba, we have Ugo and Sheba, and they're shocked and they're stunned that Solomon would go out of his way to question El Elah. So, if El Elah dies, if the entity that they put all their faith in for the course of God knows how many years died at the hands of their godlike leader Solomon, there would be massive discrepancies between the people that trusted him and those who did not. And that's the way it is. Or I should say, it depends on, because it's not a matter of trust. It's more or less those who strongly believe in those who, how do I put this? All right. Okay. It is those who rather side with Solomon despite the fact that he kills God, or those who detest Solomon because he killed God, which later on probably means Sheba. Because again, we see Sheba, one of the original Magi, veiled in darkness. So that's the way it is. It looks like the catalyst is going to be Solomon and Elder David killing El Elah. Or at least, when I say killing, I probably mean taking all of El Elah's Magoi and creating the Great White Flow for the Rook. That's probably what it is. Because El Elah isn't really dead or alive. El Elah is an entity that is losing huge quantities of Magoi. So that's why Elah goes about to planets, or at least in the sense of Alma Torran, in order to get its Magoi back, was going to wipe out Alma Torran. However, what happened was, of course, probably Solomon did use some, if not most, of the Great White Flow to create the current world that we see. So that's pretty much it. So I'm done. King Lightning. Overall, the chapter rating, I did like it. It's very detailed. It does explain a few things here and there when it pertains to the character interaction of Wahid and Falan, Seta, and Isnan. We are getting a sense for the stake of the battle here when it comes to Elder David, not only in the expression of the loved ones that are seeing their family members go off in the battle, but also in Elder David's own words when it pertains to killing God, and the plan itself about the 60 divine staves, and how most of the fighting is going to be basic spear, hand-to-hand combat, no magic involved whatsoever. So I'm done. King Lightning. Rate the video, comment, and subscribe. Chapter rating, good. Peace. Have a nice day.